So friends, today is a sad and somber day because today we are mourning the death of an independent Department of Justice. Please join me in a moment of silence. Thank you. Let's talk about that because justice matters. Hey all, Glenn Kirshner here. So friends, upon being sworn in as Attorney General, Pam Bondi issued a memo, a bunch of memos actually, but we're going to focus on one in particular because it signals the death of an independent Department of Justice and the birth of a Department of Justice that protects Donald Trump and pursues his enemies rather than remaining loyal to the rule of law and protecting the American people. Let's start with the new reporting. This from USA Today. Headline, AG Pam Bondi sworn in, vows to end weaponization of Justice Department. And that article begins, moving swiftly to align the Justice Department with Donald Trump's agenda, Attorney General Pam Bondi on Wednesday issued a flurry of directives, including the creation of a weaponization working group to investigate federal and local prosecutions of Trump that she said were overly politicized. So she won't be focusing on making America safe for the people of the United States. Rather, she'll be focusing on making America unsafe, if not a living hell, for anybody who dared cross Donald Trump, anybody who deigned to investigate or prosecute the obvious crimes Donald Trump committed. All my editorial addition. The article continues. Although the department historically has insisted on remaining independent of the White House, Bondi made clear that she was working to overhaul a DOJ that Trump had insisted is both biased against him and against political conservatives in general. The weaponization working group will look at everything from the investigations into Trump's actions before, during, and after his first term in office. Cases brought against him by Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg and New York Attorney General Letitia James. It will also look at DOJ's investigations into crimes we saw committed with our own eyes. The January 6, 2021 assault on the U.S. Capitol by a violent mob of Trump supporters. The moves came on the same day Bondi was sworn in as the nation's top law enforcement officer in a ceremony at the White House by Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas. At that ceremony, Trump lavished praise on Bondi, his former criminal defense attorney, who was also a two-term Florida Attorney General. And friends, have a gander at this picture here. Pam Bondi showing her independence of Donald Trump and the independence of the department she is now leading, the Department of Justice. How did she show that independence? By sprinting over to the White House, entering the Oval Office, and being sworn in by Justice Clarence Thomas. Now let's have a quick look at select portions of Attorney General Bondi's weaponization memo. Memorandum for all department employees from the Attorney General, subject restoring the integrity and credibility of the Department of Justice. The Department of Justice must take immediate and overdue steps to restore the integrity and credibility with the public that we are charged with protecting, and to ensure that the department's personnel are ready and willing to faithfully implement the policy agenda of the duly elected President of the United States. Sorry, I was just looking for the part where the Attorney General said that she and the employees of the Department of Justice would support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic. But no, it's just pretty much supporting and defending Donald Trump. These steps are required because, as President Trump pointed out following his second inauguration, the prior administration and allies throughout the country engaged in an unprecedented third world weaponization of prosecutorial power to upend the democratic process. Sounds more like a 2 a.m. rambling Donald Trump social media post, doesn't it? Thus, the American people have witnessed the previous administration engage in a systematic campaign against its perceived political opponents, weaponizing the legal force of numerous federal law enforcement agencies and the intelligence community against those perceived political opponents in the form of investigations, prosecutions, civil enforcement actions, and other related actions. And so the Attorney General, I guess, thinks that the way to remedy the evil of using the Department of Justice to go after one's political enemies is to use the Department of Justice to go after one's political enemies. The reconciliation and restoration of the Department of Justice's core values can only be accomplished through review and accountability. The department has already started this process, but much more work is required. No one who has acted with a righteous spirit and just intentions has any cause for concern about efforts to root out corruption and weaponization. Okay, color me cynical, but I don't believe the Attorney General when she says, no one who has acted with a righteous spirit and just intentions will have any cause for concern. Why don't I believe that? Well, because FBI agents who followed the evidence regarding the January 6 crimes at the Capitol, crimes we all saw with our own eyes, have already been forced out of government, retaliated against, and 25 to 30 federal prosecutors who followed the facts and applied the law to the January 6th cases have been fired. So, if Attorney General Bondi is speaking the truth, I very much look forward to those FBI officials and those federal prosecutors being reinstated to their jobs. I hereby establish the Weaponization Working Group, which will be led by the Office of the Attorney General and supported by the Office of the Deputy Attorney General, the Office of Legal Policy, the Civil Rights Division, the U.S. Attorney's Office for the District of Columbia, and other personnel as necessary to achieve the objectives set forth herein. In other words, we are all in to protect Donald Trump and punish his foes. And we will be going after Special Counsel Jack Smith and his staff, Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg and his staff, New York Attorney General Letitia James and her staff, and anybody who prosecuted the criminal cases at the United States Capitol on January 6th, 2021. So friends, let's finish with this. Rest in peace, independent Department of Justice, date of birth, July 1st, 1870, and date of death, February 5th, 2025. You know, friends, when we write the American ship, and we will. I look forward to seeing what rises up from the ashes of a once proud, once independent Department of Justice, because justice matters. Friends, as always, please stay safe, please stay tuned, and I look forward to talking with you all again tomorrow.